Hi, I'm Bob Newmeyer of NBC Sports, and glad to have you aboard Night School. This is, in my view, something that's been sorely needed in the horse racing industry. People have been around the track a long time, and I think the majority of them that go to the races and enjoy the races always walk in, kind of feeling that they're out of place, that they don't belong, that they don't really know anything, so they look for tips, they look for this, they look for that. So there hasn't been a real educational tool for novice handicappers to learn about the game, and that's why I think Night School is so important. They touch on a lot of different topics. Racing is multifaceted, from handicapping to wagering, and if you really want to pick up on it, you really need to kind of have a handle on all of it. And there's an old saying, paralysis by analysis, but in racing, you need to touch all the bases, and I think that what Night School brings you is a chance to talk about pedigree and talk about betting patterns and talk about wagering strategies and talk about what you need to do. Everybody has their own way of going about it. Everyone has their own tools that they use, but I think by and large you have to, as a player, figure out whether you want to make money at it, which most of us do, whether you just want to stick your chest out and say, I picked the winner, and no matter what the odds are, that's your choice. But I encourage you and your friends to get on it, and the guys that are doing it are terrific and much needed in the industry, and I wish them nothing but the best.
Before you approach a day at the races and land here at the wagering windows, there's a lot of steps that goes into the process. The first thing you want to do is download your past performances off the internet or buy them at your local newsstand a day in advance at least. You want to get your legwork done ahead of time in handicapping so that when you get to the track, you're flexible enough to make adjustments. You want to be at the track looking at the horses visually, watching the tote board, applying the trends of the day's racing. You want most of your handicapping done ahead of time. For me, approaching a day at the races begins with that legwork. I love to lay the racing form out on the floor, get down on your belly and enjoy the afternoon and handicap on the floor. That's the best way for me. Other people want to be upright and sitting at a desk and doing all that kind of stuff. I'm more casual. I handicap the same way I did when I was 12 years old. Just kind of sprawl out on the floor and do your thing. Get ready before you get to the track. That's the main thing. When you first get to the track, what you want to do is make sure you get your live racing program and get the changes as soon as you can. At many tracks, you'll be able to go up to a mutual teller and ask him to print out the day's changes. You'll get the actual changes out of the tote system that way, and then you can mark your programs accordingly. Because if you wait for the track announcements, a lot of times the changes will come 30 minutes to post for the first race and such. If you're here early and you want to get something to eat and enjoy the day at the track, but get your handicapping started right, ask the teller to print out the changes. To me, that's a great way to get your day started. And when you're approaching a day at the races, that's the first thing I do when I get here, is try to get the changes. I want to know who's running and who's not running and how that may have adjusted my handicapping from the night before. Get yourself a good place to sit. The grandstand's a great place if it's a bad weather day, but for me, I like to be mobile. I want to be up on the apron and see the horses and be able to walk back to the paddock back and forth. Wear comfortable shoes to the track, that's for sure. If you're going to enjoy the day of moving around, wear comfortable shoes and have a great day moving around with the horses. It's an active sport and a lot of active fans. It's fun to sit in the grandstand and enjoy the drinks and that sort of thing like that from time to time, but if you're a serious horse player, to me, I like to get up and move around quite a bit. As the race day progresses, you want to try to get in line early enough that you're not deciding what to do with your wagers too late, and at the same time give yourself enough chance to get through the lines. So always prepare, know your racetrack, and know how early you're going to have to get in line for the races. Typically, the first race of the day you'll be able to get through very quickly. The crowd hasn't filed in completely. It's usually the lowest handle race on the day, so don't just judge how quickly you got to the window of the first race on how fast you're going to be able to do it throughout the day. You may have to speed that up as the day goes on. The horses break from the post parade with about 8 minutes to post. Try to get in line right away after that. When you're at the track, do your best that you can to be prepared ahead of time. Enjoy the day at the races and keep moving. That's the best way to enjoy it.